sing. I'm gonna make a lot of money. Gonna be a big man. Daddy, do you know what I mean?
What's going on, everybody? Hopefully y'all can see me this evening, and I will eventually turn the music down. Don't worry, gotta start it off with the right energy. Hope everybody's doing well this evening, that y'all have the right energy for this session that I have prepared for you. Hopefully it is of use to you. Again, if you are a speaker, coach, trainer, consultant, anybody here in the visual landscape, then you are in the right place, in the right space, because then I'm going to break down the difference of kind of a hybrid car and a sports car. I'll tell you what that has to do with business. So as we get ready for that, of course, I have to greet you as I properly should each and every week. Welcome to this week's Tech Training Tuesday. I am your host each and every week here, Justin Morgan, here to help you create a business that allows you to impact the world. Of course, that means you're becoming a hashtag master of tech, which means you are trying to automate your business so you can master your destiny and master your impact. I'm glad to be here. I'm the National Tech Director of the Black CEO Movement. I am your automator and your weekly trainer, here to help you as I do each and every week. And so my question I have for everybody as you come in this week is, do you have a website or a system? Maybe you have neither. I mean, that's possible too. But do you have a website or a system? There is a poll. I'm trying to make sure that folks can see it. Let me make sure. Boom. You have a website or a system. Let's see. All right. So I went ahead and put a poll up there. So feel free to answer that question of the day. So whether you're live or replay, check that out. Give me your answer. I want to know. I'm curious what the community has out there in large. So as y'all come in, do me a favor. Of course, if you appreciate this information or you think somebody else could appreciate this information, make sure you share this. Make sure you share this with a friend, family, or a foe, because they shall need this information as well. Don't be greedy, people. Don't be greedy. So today I'm going to be talking about the difference, right? The difference between a hybrid and, kind of that modest car versus a sports car, and really what that means for business. And it really may not be what you expect it to be. Like it may not be what you think it is. So I just want you to give this a thought. So again, this is the comparison that we're making today. Above my head, you should see that over there. So as we get started, boom, we'll go ahead and make sure this is landed in the proper places, in the proper spaces. Let's see, bang, bang. See some folks. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. Morgan. I appreciate y'all. Dekeisha, thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate that as well. Let's see. Anybody else in the house? I saw Renee in the house there for a second there. Appreciate you as well. So as you get here, make sure you shout out your business. You never know who could use your services. So it may not be me, but it may be the community at large. And share it as well so my son can hear it in the background as he hangs out in his swing. So if he joins us on camera, don't be alerted. He is awake and ready to give you the best value that he possibly can. He's here to replace me at some point. Anyway, today, as you can see, we're talking about a comparison between a hybrid car and a fast sports car. Like, why the comparison? And how does that even make any sense, Justin? Like, in what universe, and what space does even remotely make any sense? Like, what? How does it affect me in business? You're talking about cars. I'm not in the car biz. I'm not selling cars. I'm not training on selling cars. I'm not an auto broker, which is something I just found out about today. Like I forgot that even existed as a profession, right? So again, I'm not one of those, Justin. Like, so what does this possibly have to do with me, right? And so you got to look at it this way, right? You got to look at it this way. So as we see here, okay, boom, you got your sports car and you got your hyper car. Now, as many of us, and the question I really have to ask and pose to you, right? The question I have to pose to you is, which one of these things, which one has the most value? So there's a couple of questions. So which one has the most value, right? And the second question I have to ask you, and the more powerful question, isn't just which one has the most value, which one gives the most value, right? Which one gives the most value? Now, you're going to say, Justin, well, the sports car is expensive. It's worth a lot of money. Of course, it's valuable. So how many of you, now maybe you're not there yet, but let's just, you know this person or you have been this person. You bought a nice car. You bought a nice vehicle, luxury vehicle, got all the trim and everything along with it, right? It's got all those goodies, bells and whistles, all the chrome pieces, the nice rims. It's got 2 seats. It goes about 150 miles an hour on the highway. But you don't drive it? All right. 1 second, y'all. We're going to do this. Hey. All right. I didn't go anywhere. I'm still here. Anyway, so what does that mean? I know it's the trials and the challenges of parenthood, right? Anyway, what does that mean for you? Again, so we're painting this picture, right? The sports car. The beauty is it's fast. It feels good. It runs. It costs you a ton of money. How often do you drive it? How often do you use it? The sports car probably gets used once a week, maybe. You know, if you're fancy, then you drive it to work. It costs you a lot. When it comes time for you to move around, you got family and everything, and you can't really use it then. It's not really good on gas, so it's not a great investment in that regard. You still lose money off the lot. I mean, it's a new car unless you get some very unique thing that holds value. Otherwise, the value does drop. If it gets dinged, danged, hurt, breaks down, it's going to cost you a ton of money to get it done. And let's be real, if it's time for you to go shopping, got to go grocery shopping, anything like that, then good luck trying to fit everything inside. So it has a very limited scope. Like, you can use it and it looks good, it's pretty, it goes down the road really nice. But when it comes time to deliver, it's very limited. And it's very vanity based, right? So at the end of the day, it doesn't do anything special. Nothing more than all the other cars on the road, other than it's fast. But guess what? There's that thing called a speed limit, which then pretty much makes any fast car useless. Now, I'm a fan of speed. Don't get me wrong. I will have my taste of luxury in sport vehicles. Don't worry. But I want to pose another situation. See the other photo there that she got there right next to me. And again, that, as you have, is a Honda Civic Hybrid. It's a 2006. Nothing crazy. Nothing fancy. Nothing spectacular. It's, maybe it's worth, like, at that time that it would have been brand new, maybe it was worth like 30 grand, 20 some grand. Who knows? I didn't look up the sticker price. So certainly this Porsche has it beat. But which one do I drive on a daily basis? The Civic. Which one is easier on gas? The Civic. Which one probably keeps its value longer? The Civic. Believe it or not, because they maintain well. When maintaining, are they cheap or expensive? Cheap. Can I fit my family inside? My family of 4. Yes. It's got back seats. If I need to go grocery shopping, can I fit them and the groceries somehow in the trunk? Yes. Can I go on longer drives? Yes. If it gets hurt or gets injured or it gets broken, gets scratched, gets dinged, and am I damaged altogether for the rest of my life? No. Does it cost me $1 million in insurance? No. Does it get used and get me to point A to point B? Yes. So while the hybrid car is certainly is not the most value, it does not have the most value, it does create the most value in my life. It creates more value in my life. Right? I can do more with it. Saves me money. Better on gas. Easy to maintain. And it does the same thing that the Porsche does. Gets me from point A to point B. Now your question is, okay, Justin, this is a great comparison, but what in the world does that have to do with business? Now, let's think about this, right? There's this thing I'm coming up with, right? It's less sites, more systems. Less sites, more systems. Fewer sites, more systems. Systems are greater than sites. Now, what you'll realize is websites are nice. And so there are a ton of people that have a bunch of websites. Right? A ton of people that have a ton of websites. They hire the fancy designer. They spend all the upfront money in cash. They go out there and they get all the best iStock photos. They get the expensive theme on WordPress, the priciest one they can find. They spend all this money. But then the website just sits. It's like it's in the garage. Because you did it on a complicated platform. It's expensive to maintain and complicated to maintain. If something goes wrong, it's very costly. Is it sounding right? When it comes time to upgrade or put things into the site, it can be somewhat of a struggle. Because it's either technical or there's a piece in there that doesn't fit right, doesn't fit properly, it doesn't really work for me and my expertise and what I'm doing. Does this sound familiar? And then once it sits there for so long, and then once it comes time for WordPress or that whatever that thing is to do the next big thing to upgrade, guess what? Your site loses value because it no longer works like it should. Does this sound familiar? So I know that seemed like a strange comparison, but let's go over the points. Websites, expensive, hard to maintain, aren't often made with what you have in mind. They sound like the sports luxury car to me. They're nice to have, but oftentimes they're not for you at this time. See, now a system a little bit different. See, the system is really what's inside. It's really what matters. It's what gets you from point A to point B. Now, a system can be expensive, but can also be very efficient because the system is meant not just to be out there for vanity. The system is meant to accomplish two things: to get you the result out there in the marketplace, but also to get you the result while maintaining the lifestyle, the workflow, the energy, and what your skills can handle. It's meant to fit in your life. The Civic is meant to fit in your life. This is extra. It's vanity. It's not meant to fit in your life. It's meant to augment. It's meant to add on. It's meant to kind of just be there. It's something fun to do. But this is meant to fit in your life. It's meant to fit into your lifestyle. It's meant to fit into your flow. A system is meant to fit into your business. It's meant to fit into your vision. It's meant to fit into your goals. It's meant to fit into your energy level. It's meant to fit into your skill ability. It's meant to fit in your plan. Sites are less than systems. Systems over sites. Systems greater than sites. Systems. More systems, less sites. So again, if you haven't answered the poll yet, you haven't checked that out yet, answer that. Do you have a system? Do you have a website? Now, some of you are now, all right, well, Justin, all right, you put your points. Now, what do I do? Like, I'm stuck. I got a website. I went out there, I got this website. I paid for it. Doesn't really do much for me. Listen, one of the things you know if you do not have a system is how much money is your website making you by itself. Like if you send somebody to your website, what's going on, D? How's it going? If you send somebody to your website, will it then get them to the result that you want and that the visitor wants? Or is it just a mess? Or does it just sit? Is it part of a system you're actively using? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. If you haven't seen the poll, let me know in the comments as well. I'm always curious as well. So, Justin, how do you go from having just a website to having a system? Now, I'm going to give you a few things here in this time, but it's a bit of a painful thing. So it's going to vary from one person to another and kind of what you do, but I'm going to give you some few baselines. So again, the first thing, as I just asked you, if you send somebody to your website, do they have a guided experience? If not, then you have a website and you don't have a system. Okay? So that's the first measuring point. First measuring point. 2, if they don't have that experience, then you have to ask yourself, what is that experience? So what is that thing? What is that journey? What is that process? So again, I've talked about this. I said, hey, one of the important things you need to do in your business, like right now, today, is map out the user experience. As in, where do they see you, whether it be in social media, whether it be an ad, whether it be in video, whether it be on a blog post, where do they see you first? And then as they read through that content, watch that content, listen to that content, what point in that content do they get acted and asked to do something and take action? And when they take that action, where are they going? What and where they land, what does that say? Where are they going at that part of the process? What are they intended to do? What do you need them to see? What do you need them to learn? What do you need them to think about? What do you need them to act on? What pain point do you need them to feel? What step do they need to take? And it should be simple. This stuff should be mapped out. If it's not, then you got a site. You don't have a system. If you haven't done this, you have a site. You don't have a system. So again, if somebody can go to your site and it's not guiding to do something themselves, then again, you have a site and not a system. If you've never mapped this stuff out, again, you have a site, not a system. Not a system. The other thing you have to ask yourself is, what part of the process am I doing all the work? If you're doing all the work the entire way through, at no point in time is a piece of technology or a person taking up your role. It's requiring more than 50% of your time. It's taking up a lot of the bulk of your energy. Then you have a site. I was going to let you say it. You have a site. You don't have a system. Sites, fewer sites, more systems. Fewer sites, more systems. Fewer sites, more systems. So what you have to do at that point is, again, look. So again, this is getting to the mapping piece. You have to look at the parts that you touch and then see, is there a piece of software, or can I possibly afford to hire somebody to take over this thing? So that's what you got to think about. So all of it really comes down to mapping. It's not like it's the fanciest thing ever. It's like you can take a piece of paper right now. Right now, the moment you get done with this training, get a blank sheet of paper and map it out. No excuses. No reason why you can't do it. If you can scribble, then you can accomplish this. If you can write, you can accomplish this. And if you haven't done it yet, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're doing yourself a disservice. Because then the next thing you have to think about, so again, these are points to just think about, is now, can I measure the results in my business? If I cannot measure the results in my business, I have a site. I don't have a system. If you cannot measure the results, if you cannot set up a way to measure the results, the process, the way that people are coming through, where they're ending, where they're landing, where they're ending up, whether they're getting to the result that you and they want. If you can't do that, you have a site. You don't have a system. Again, systems are greater than sites. Systems are greater than sights. These are all important pieces. Important keys. Right? He's back there. I'm probably going to get him in a second. Yep. Hold on. I know. Yep. Hey. All right. So, he says that you have to, right? Sights are under systems. So systems over sights. Systems over sights. Again, first things first. Again, if somebody can't go to your site and then land at the result that they need to and you need them to land on, you have a site. You don't have a system. If you're doing most of the work, you have a site. You don't have a system. If you haven't mapped it out yet, you have a site. You don't have a system. If it's not measurable, right? If it's not measurable, then you, my friends, have a site and not a system. You have a site and not a system. Now, last piece. I really want you to think about this because, again, the big thing that I talk about and the big reason I created the brand that I did. Okay, my motto is automate your business so you can master your destiny and master your impact. Do you have systems in place? Are you able to do something beyond yourself, greater than yourself, so you can do greater for others and impact more? Think about that. Do you have something in place that acts as leverage so you can do things greater than yourself? Greater than yourself. Do you have something in place that allows you to do greater than yourself? More than you can do in the time that you have and energy you have available. Do you have that thing in place? If not, if you don't have that thing that acts as leverage, that allows you to do something greater than yourself, I have greater impact based off of doing what you can do. So something that can be done outside of what you can accomplish on a normal basis. You have a site, not a system. Right? Right. So that's what I got. Hopefully y'all got those 5 points this week. And hopefully that is of use to you. Let me know in the comments below whether you're here, whether you're live or on replay. I appreciate you and I appreciate your questions. If you have a question for me, you have a question for him, then go ahead and tag me in the comments and I will get back to you with an answer as I usually would. I appreciate each and every one of you and what you do and being here each and every week. As we end everything, make sure you share this with a friend, a family member, or even a baby because they can use this information too. I appreciate you as we end everything. Hashtag Black Sale Out and as usual, treat each day as a building block to a better future. Peace.